Hi, I'm Rick Keeler. Thanks for joining me. Part of supporting my clients' financial well-being really requires that I have a pretty good grasp of current world economic, political, and financial events and how those apply to my clients personally and individually. It's also important that as a financial therapist to understand and validate clients' various viewpoints. Not only then do I spend a considerable amount of time following current events, but it really matters that the data and news that I evaluate be as factual and accurate as possible. Well, that's pretty tall order. Balanced news sources are few and far between. Let me give you an example. If one person only gathers their information from CNN, and another person gets all of theirs from Fox News, their worldviews are going to be 180 degrees apart. In part, this is because most of us are affected by what's called confirmation bias. This is a tendency to focus on information that contains and underscores what we already believe to be true, and thereby ignoring or discounting sources that contradict what we believe. Confirmation bias is made even stronger by the use of algorithms in social media and when you do an internet search, which track our online preferences and then offer us more of the same flavor, similar information. So the cycle of belief confirmation becomes increasingly narrow. As I've seen repeatedly through my career, behavior like selling out of the stock market or going all in solely on one's political beliefs and biases is almost always a recipe for financial disaster. So, for this reason, I encourage you to evaluate your media diet. Two sources you can use to assess whether your media consumption is balanced and varied are Media Bias Fact Check and Ad Fontes Media. Now, you might wonder, well, how biased are these two bias evaluating services? If you look up your favorite media sources and find them rated extreme right or left with low probability of being factual, your immediate thought may probably be that the service leans left or right and can't be believed. That's actually confirmation of your confirmation bias. Not surprisingly, news sources that were poorly rated by either of them are very critical of them, similar to Consumer Report, a magazine that I followed for years that rates all sorts of consumer items. When a certain company's product is rated really low, they just trash Consumer Reports as being biased and all the reasons why it's not correct, right? So I did some fact checking on both sites. Both have been criticized as being subjective, basing conclusion on small samples, not using scientific methods. In 2018, the Columbia Journalism Review described Media Bias Fact Check as an amateur attempt at categorizing media bias and characterized their assessments as subjective assessments that leave room for human bias or even simple inconsistencies to creep in. Yet, a study published in Scientific Reports concluded, while media bias fact checks credibility is sometimes questioned, it has been regarded as accurate enough to be used as ground truth for media bias classifiers, fake news studies, and automatic fact-checking systems. A 2021 article on the Association of College Research Libraries blog argued that the Ad Fontes Media bias chart is detrimental to media literacy efforts because it promotes a false equivalency between left and right, lionizes a political center as being without bias, and reinforces harmful perceptions about what constitutes news in our media ecosystem and is ignored by anyone that doesn't already hold a comparable view of the media landscape. So, since judging bias is inherently somewhat subjective, my conclusion is both sites have some flaws, but are reasonable sources, especially when used together, right? Assessing the slant of the media you consume, I think, matters a lot. Becoming more aware of your confirmation biases can give you a larger context and broader perspective that supports wiser, long-term financial behaviors. Most of us have seen how extreme biases in any direction can damage a lot of things, including relationships. Biases can also get in the way of making reasoned and informed financial decisions and can result in long-term damage to someone's financial and emotional well-being. Next week, I'll have more to say. Take care.